What does it mean to have free will? What does it mean to be able to make your own choices with your life, especially when it comes to your career and the people that you love? Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tell you what that means when commentating on the movie The Adjustment Bureau. Hello to any and all movie nerds and fans out there. Welcome to Film Obsessed, where today we are going to talk about the movie The Adjustment Bureau, which I just watched for the very first time. It is a film that sent me through one of the wildest rides I have ever experienced when it comes to the world of movies. This commentary will break down everything I felt about the film, but also what it is I did before seeing it to have one of the best experiences I've ever felt when watching it through. If you are someone who has seen the movie already and is a fan of it, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so that we can build this film community that I'm trying to start on this channel. Without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's jump right into it. So I want to start off by telling you all what it is that I did before going into the film, and honestly, it might be something I venture to do more with movies in the future. I basically went into the movie blind, in the sense that I knew absolutely nothing about the plot, never watched a single trailer, never read a single review of the movie, or even the plot synopsis. The main reason I went into it wanting to watch this film is because it had two main stars that I really do enjoy watching, and also it is a film that I have heard people say is very underrated when it comes to some of the better films of the 2010s era. Jokingly, it also just happened to be on Netflix, so I had to watch it anyway, but I digress. This way of going into watching movies is something that I think could definitely benefit or hurt how I perceive film, at least movies that I've never watched before and know nothing about. I think it added to my experience in the way of elevating how I consumed the story, but also its filmmaking techniques with regards to how they play out moments of our characters moving from place to place, which I'll get to in a minute. Speaking of that story, let's talk about it. The film follows the character of David Norris, played by Matt Damon, who is a Brooklyn Democratic congressman running for the United States Senate. After losing his race, he meets a woman named Elise, played by Emily Blunt, who set him on a path of belief that this woman is someone he met for a reason, and years later, when he somehow manages to find himself meeting her again and wanting to be together with her when trying to run for office for a second time, things spiral out of control in a way that is so supernatural to him that he has to question everything around him while making the hard choice of choosing what he truly believes in for his future, but also his love for this woman. I did dance around a couple of spoiler plot points included in there, but you get the gist of what I'm saying if you've seen the film already. The spoiler stuff is around speaking about the mysterious supernatural organization that is within this film called the Adjustment Bureau that tries to keep Matt Damon's character and Emily Blunt's separated from each other because they are trying to keep him on his predetermined path of living the life that he was going to be living before he met her. It is such a fascinating plotline when you read it on paper, but then when you actually watch the movie, it becomes even more impressive in its execution from a filmmaking perspective. The director of the film, George Nolfi, did, in my opinion, an excellent job at establishing the storylines and then sending you down the tension-thrilled ride of following Matt Damon's character as he tries to navigate his way of choosing the path that he believes in, which is to be in love with Elise and forget his political career that he was trying to reinvigorate before meeting her again for a second time. Finding out that this is also the first film he ever directed made me even more impressed. His ability to craft scenes that allow you to focus on the important aspects, which are the characters, is what allows for this movie to be as enticing as it is. I never once took my eye off the screen, and that is always a good sign. I would definitely compliment the editing on that as well, as I think the scenes are really well edited to give you just enough time to soak in all the information that you learn throughout many sequences that happen along the way. It is a very well shot film as well when incorporating the on-location cinematography of New York City. You can clearly tell that they shot this movie fully there without any usage of green screen, and so there is a bit of authenticity to get you into the scenes more when you know they are actually taking you through this thrill ride in a real place. Although, as I mentioned earlier, I did want to talk about those transition sequences, which, as I have now seen with some of the behind the scenes, were done using a very smart usage of green screen. As you watch David and Elise run through door to door in the ending sequence as they are being chased by the Bureau, I was fully locked in, and it was done through a very impressive and well-made sequence on the part of the visual effects artists. It really does look like they are running into these areas that they go to, and sometimes I would try to look so hard to tell if they snuck in a few cuts so that it could help with scene transitioning, but but for the most part, it is all in camera, and I love that. Since we have now gotten to this point where I am talking about the movie this far into the plot, I would now like to give my commentary on the writing, which I think is very methodical and unique in the kind of story it's telling. The movie was written by the director, but also is inspired by a story written by an author named Philip K. Dick, who, if you look at his IMDb, is filled with incredible stories and projects that his work was based off of. The movie is about a secret and supernatural-like organization that is meant to put people on the path of the Bureau's choosing every day, and if a mistake is made with that person, they have to go in and fix it without that person having the right to choose. Matt Damon and Emily Blunt's characters just so happen to be caught up in an instance where it went wrong. Through this, there is a heavy emphasis on exploring the themes of free will and choice. I was not expecting themes like this to be explored when the movie started. No joke, when this movie was first beginning and it was exploring the more political side of Matt Damon's character, I really thought that this movie was going to be more of a political thriller of sorts as opposed to what we ended up getting in the second and third act, which is a more supernatural thriller mixed with a tinge of comedy and romance. Through and through, this is a full-blown love story, and honestly, I cannot look at it any other way. A love story about the idea of making a decision that you believe could affect your life and your career in a good or bad way. They talk about this many times in the movie, whether it's David talking with the people of the Bureau when they try to catch him, or if it's him talking with Elise after she finds out what's been going on. There's just something so beautiful within the story about that makes it just as relatable to you as a person in real life, because everyone goes through these kinds of things. Taking away the supernatural element of this movie with the Bureau, you cannot deny that the main crux of this story between David and Elise is what a person is going to find themselves going through at least once in their life. And that makes it so much more compelling, and again, just another reason why I was as impressed as I was, considering the fact that I went into this movie not knowing a single detail about it. At the same time, I'll also add in another element to this that I feel like almost makes this movie a lot more relatable to real life now with where we are living in the year 2024. There is a big thing online now in the more conspiracy theory type areas in communities where there are people who believe that we as a society are living in a simulation where what we do and every event that takes place on a day-to-day basis is controlled by a higher power that we cannot see nor exists for us to be able to see. Almost as if there is like another person somewhere out there in a control room hitting a button for the story of a person's life to go the way it is every day. That is why I say this movie is relatable to the times we are living in now when you have people say stuff like that. The character of David straight up does not have control of anything he does in the manner of speaking. Obviously, he has the ability to go and do whatever he wants, but when avoiding the Bureau, he has to be able to work so much harder to do so, especially when he doesn't have the tools that they use to catch him. There is a book in the movie that the Bureau uses to basically track the movements of every single person that goes about their day-to-day life in the path that they're supposed to go down. And so, of course, the ending of the movie showcases that he does find a way to gain back his free will and his decision to choose the path that he wants, but it costs him so many times before where he did lose Elise and never saw her again. It is very beautiful storytelling that is also very well communicated and executed through the actors. Actors of whom I want to give a lot of credit to because I think everybody killed their roles. Matt Damon and Emily Blunt do a really good job, and their chemistry and charisma with each other is played out so well anytime they are on screen together. You feel like they are characters that are in love with each other, even though their love was started about through a very random coincidence of him meeting her in a men's bathroom after he just lost his race to become a senator. A very coincidental timing, but again, that's the point of the story, that it just happened to be that that was the path they were meant to go down. I haven't even talked about him yet, but Anthony Mackie was also great in the film as the guy who actually starts the movie as the reason why the character of David goes down the path he does, but then in the end is the reason why everything comes back together as he helps David and Elise from the Bureau and they choose that decision and path to be in love with each other. The rest of the cast is also really good, from John Slattery, who at first is the guy chasing down David, only for that to be given to Terence Stamp, who then plays the next guy to chase him down, and then even Michael Kelly, who plays David's best friend and advisor in running his campaign for Senate in New York City. I think every actor did a fantastic job, and when you couple that together with all the other fantastic areas of filmmaking this movie found itself in, you overall have such a great but yet underrated film that I honestly wish I saw more people talking about to this day. The movie didn't make that much money at the box office at the time in 2011, but honestly, it doesn't always take money to make a good piece of art, and sometimes it just comes down to the art itself being the way it is for people to love it, and that for me is what I got with the Adjustment Bureau. With that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is where this video analysis is going to end. For anyone who sees this video, I am very interested to see your thoughts. Moving forward, I definitely want to try going into movies and even TV shows blind, and if you are someone who does that, let me know. Leave your comments down below about what you think about the film if you've seen it already and my commentary of it. If you want to see more moving forward from me on this channel with regards to film and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and turn on that notification bell to be updated for when I upload again. So yeah, that's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.